All right. Okay, guys, happy Monday. I can't believe that we're almost at the end of February. Time is flying, but we're here. We're showing up for our business, and today's focus hour is following up with a hot list. Now, for me, I will be honest and say that follow ups are my favorite to do on Fridays because corporate America gets paid, but I've also seen that on Mondays, people are ready also to start like something that's going to help them because they realize that they're either feeling bad from having just bad nutritional choices over the weekend, or they're tired of like going to work and they're unhappy. And so Monday can also be a very powerful follow-up day. But before we get started, I obviously want to just get into that mindset of when you're showing up for your business, make sure that you're in a really good place before you start connecting with people. Because, like, if you are having a bad day or you've had a bad morning and you start like connecting with people with that energy, people are going to feel it. So, first things first, mindset work. I want to spend, and I know focus hour is more on the training, but I still want to get you girls to feel productive and actually do follow ups. So let's do some mindset work. If you've already read personal development and you're on a good vibration, then go ahead and start getting your list together for your follow ups. And you could even like do a post, do a call to action, because that will create follow up momentum. But if you have not read your personal development and you just really want to get in tuned and aligned with what your purpose is, why you are here, what is the gift that you're going to pay forward, then I want to spend maybe like 5 minutes on really just reading something that's going to be so powerful that when you are done, you are going to take action, but it's going to be inspired action. And when you work from a place of inspired action, you work in a very different, like, it's a different energy. I know that for me, when I read personal development and then I go into writing a post, my posts come out very different. And you know what? It takes the pressure off of us as to what am I going to say today. Usually, when you read the personal development, you're already getting that content and it gets your wheels turning where then you could share your heart. If you haven't done a post, go ahead and do that now too. If you already did the personal development, and if not, go on your stories and go ahead and create some stories and share from your heart. What did you read today that you can pay it forward and pass on to your audience? Because whatever's helping you, I guarantee you is going to help them. Okay. And at the end of the day, you also want to share on your stories when you lead like from your heart and inspired. You want to share that because I feel like if the people that you're going to attract, the ones that really are going to be like, I needed to hear that today, those are the ones that are going to join you eventually. So sharing, thoughts and just anything that's in your heart and your stories is going to be critical, especially today that it's Monday. Monday is Motivation Monday. Monday is Mindset Monday. It's just a great way to be like, this is what I read, or this is what I learned. This was my takeaway, and I just want to share it because I know one person can use this today. So, with that being said, I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes. Go ahead and pull something out, or like I said, write your goals, do some affirmations. If you need to turn off your camera, breathe in and out, get in that space that you're going to be a powerhouse right now to pay this gift for. So 5 minutes on the clock. I'm going to mute myself. And if you have any questions, just unmute. Here we go. All right, time's up. So hopefully you read something that inspired you, that reminds you of your purpose. I actually just read something that is phenomenal. It says, I hope the rest of your life is your idea, right? So many times we do things, right? Because we're told to do them or because we feel that we should, but that should doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's right for us. So when you are reminded that you're here because it's your idea, how perfect that you're able to say that to other people. Like, have you ever thought of doing something that's just for you, right? So, a few things that I want to go over before we get into actually doing the productivity of following up. So, following up for me is something that is like behind the scenes work, right? We know that if we want to reach our goals, our effort has to be there, right? If we are not following up, then we're not really taking responsibility and ownership of our business. It's not just enough to do a post, we know that. The behind the scenes is really where the fortune is at. So that's why they say the fortune is in the follow up. Always have something to invite to, which we talk about time and time again, because then you can follow up with urgency. And that connects the dots for many people. When they know, okay, this is a free group that they're going to invite, they're inviting me to, and then you follow up, it's almost like if you're connecting the dots to say, all right, yes or no. When you are asking people to just join you, make sure that you don't take it personal. They could get busy. It's not about you. More than likely, it's about them. And so, what I want you to do is never think that if they're ghosting you, never give up on asking, hey, are you ready this time? Because there's a lot of people that will come back and say, thanks for not giving up on me. I just wasn't ready to respond. And a lot of times when they don't respond, it could be that they're busy. It could be that they're afraid to committing and they just don't want to rule you out completely. So we can't take those things personal. Expect the no's, expect the ghosting, but when you're confident, don't and you don't back off, you're letting them know, hey, you still matter to me, you still come to my mind, and I'm thinking of you, and I know that this is something that could really help you, and that's why I'm going to continue to invite you until you're ready, knowing that when you are here for that reason, that this is your idea of your life, making sure that you're putting your purpose into full use. That's how you know that when you are asking people to join you as a follow-up, it's because that's your mission. Make sure that if you are dealing with objections, lean into the community, ladies, because I know that for me, when I started, and I say this all the time, when I started working closely with other sister coaches or peers or colleagues, however you want to call them, that was when I felt that I could fly. And I call my people wing girls because they give me wings. They're the ones that allowed me to really just take my level or take my business to the next level. And it's your job. It is your job to follow up with people. It's not a bother. You're a professional. You're basically saying, like, hey, you're important to me. You deserve this. This is all about, just if it's for you, great. And if this is not the right time, then that's cool too. So make sure that when you're asking them to join you as well, make it like if you're talking to your bestie, make it very casual, remove the fear, remove the emotion. Even though this is all about relationships and it's not transactional, it's more relational, but still don't feel like, if when you follow up, you have to be like robotic, or no, you could remove the emotion and completely even like think like, I'm not expecting anything, but definitely it's your job to follow up and say, hey, I'm circling back with you. A lot of times I wake up in the morning, and when I'm reading my personal development, I'm like, and obviously I pray, but whatever higher power you believe in, I just say, please pop in those names that need me today. Pop in those names in my head that I can serve today. Who are the people that need me? And this is what I've done so far that I think you should do too, is use humor, very very like, use your personality. I think when you use the humor, I think it just takes away that formality, and they know that, oh my gosh, this girl's just like me. Another thing I do too is, when I find that like I'm being ghosted a lot, I'll come back and say, hey girl, if they're still watching my stories, I'll be like, hey girl, did I say something to offend you, or did I say something to scare you away? Just because I want to make them aware, like, dude, you're watching my stories, but when I, write to you, like, you don't even respond. So I'll say something like, hey, did I say something that scared you away? Just so that they are like, whoa, it's true. Here I am watching. She's written to me and I don't respond. When I do my follow-ups, another thing I do is I add value, and I'll give them free recipes or a free playlist, just to let them know, like, hey, I'm not just here to like ask. I'm also here to provide. So what I'll do is I'll send them something. I call them freemiums. And it could be a meal plan from the Monthly Fix from Autumn. It could be a recipe from the Beachbody blog. It could be something that I heard in a deep dive from Autumn, or Ilana. Anything like that I'm like, wow, that really helped me. I'll pay it forward. So you can do things like that, sharing and not expecting, but definitely sharing, adding value, so that then they could see that you're more than just that transaction and that sale. All right, let's get into where we're going to go into the follow-ups. But before we do that, I do have a presentation that I always like to share, just as reminders of how it is that you can slay your follow-ups. So again, reminding you that if you have certain days where you do this, then like I said, Fridays are big for me, but you could always do a little bit of following up every single day. Like I said, I'm finding that now Mondays are just as powerful. Make sure you're tracking, ladies. Stick with one tracker, be it paper and pen, be it digital, be it an app that you're using like Teamsy or a Trello board, something where you can always say, I need to pull out my tracker or have that tracking system to do your follow-ups. Because if you're going to do your follow-ups without a list, you're just going to be all over the place. You're going to feel so disorganized. And I find that when you feel disorganized, you completely, like, fear sets in and then you paralyze yourself. So make sure that you're organized and have a tracking system. You could also do collections, which I've been doing a lot. The minute that someone tells me, hey, I'm interested, or they ask me a question, they go into my collections and I title it follow up. Because then that way, if I'm somewhere in a doctor's appointment where I don't have my tracker, I can just go to my collections and start working from there. And you can also come up with a system like, okay, every morning for 10 minutes, I'm going to follow up. I have people that every night in the evenings, they do 10 minutes of follow-ups before they go to bed. As long as you just kind of come up with that, that tracking system, and use, some type of a system or a method. Like for me, I do follow-ups on Facebook through Messenger. And you could go to like create a conversation of a follow-up if somebody has ever shown, interest, or start with the birthdays. Go to the birthdays, wish them a happy birthday, and then go back and follow up. How was your birthday? Create that conversation so that there's always that follow up on the conversation. It doesn't always necessarily have to be from an invite, right? If somebody watched your lives, if you girls are doing any lives, IGTVs, things like that, go back and do a follow up from there. You could do it from Instagram, your DMs, from your polls. I love to do polls and go back to, the people that watch and start a follow from the people that clicked on my poll. Emails, another great way to follow up. If you have a newsletter and, you basically have somebody that's commenting on your newsletter, go back and follow up there. Or if you have a blog, or if you just are collecting emails and people are like, yes, I'm interested, give me more information, go back and follow up. And then I'm really like, bold about getting on the phone with someone. If someone tells me or asks me a question, like I'm interested, or they clicked on my poll, I'll be like, hey, love, do you have 5 minutes that you could just jump on a quick call with me? I'd love to chit chat with you and give you more information. For me, a phone call will always lock in that deal, right? More than likely. I would say like 99% of the time, I'll lock in the deal when I jump on the phone. And I've removed the fear, because if I'm talking, like if they're my bestie and they've been watching my stories and we're like going back and forth, I have no problem just picking up the phone and being, hey, I'm so excited to chat with you. Let's like, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What are your goals? What are you struggling with? How can I best help you? Because more than likely, they're going to be like, they're going to want to talk about themselves, and then I can go ahead and just lock in the deal. All right. Moving on to subscripts. You can take a picture with your phone and just have a general idea of how follow-ups kind of go. I usually just say, hey, love, I wanted to circle back around with you as promised. I had you on my mind. Do you want to finally like get more information on my coaching mentorship group or my sneak peek, whatever it is? I feel like if, for the past few weeks, I've really connected with you. I'd love to do this alongside you. It could be something like that. You can go back and also use something like, hey, how'd your vacation go? I know we haven't talked in a month. Looked incredible. Just wanted to circle back and, touch base since we hadn't talked like in a month. Is this a better time to chat about my coaching group or my challenge group, whatever it is? If it's somebody that's giving you like a cost objection, you could always say, hey, just wanted to see if you had anything that I can maybe help you with. I have a flash sale. I know that sometimes finances are a little bit difficult. So I have a flash sale coming up. This is going to really help you. Or you could even right now talk about promo codes, guys. We have promo codes. So you could say, I have a coupon for you, a promo code. I'm so excited. This is what's going to get you started and I cannot wait. If you want to do something that's super short and sweet, you could say, oh my gosh, girl, how have you been? A month has passed. You popped into my mind. Are you ready to lock arms and do this with me? And at the end of the day, if you want to talk about just basically telling them that the coaching gives them that 25% off, talk about a referral fee. How they can get access to a referral link and earn 25% or up to 40% commission. You could talk about like, you don't have to coach anyone, girl. It's just a referral link. You'll get a bonus. How exciting that you're going to get that extra spending money. Is this something that may interest you? So again, this is just to get your wheels turning. And that's basically what I do to just remind myself of like why it is that I am following up. One powerful tip that I always share is use your voice. For me, voice messages are the kicker. I get to showcase my personality, my strength. I get, to like really just show them who I am, that it's an authentic message, that it's just not copy and paste. I get to laugh. I get to share my emotion. When you share your passion and you shine your light with, who you are, you're giving them hope. It's kind of like you're letting them know, like, I did not forget about you. You are not alone. I have a place where you could belong. And, if this is for you, like I am, like, if you're ready to link arms, I'm here waiting for you. And then just 10x everything. Like I said in the beginning of the call, your effort needs to match your goal. And you don't stop following up until you reach your goal. Like right now, we're at February the 22nd. We have a few days left. Don't just throw in the air and be like, forget it, too late. I'm going to stop. I've already done, 10 follow-ups every day and nothing's happening. No. If it's not working, change it. Do something different. Go out of your comfort zone. Do a live, do a reel, do an IGTV, partner up with a sister coach and go live and do like an interview. I don't care what you do, but you don't stop until you reach your goal, because what that's going to do is that it's going to build massive momentum for next month. So if you need to do these follow-up power hours multiple times a day until your goal is met, then so be it. I used to tell myself that I didn't work Saturdays and Sundays, but when I have not hit my goal, I've got to level up and just I tell my husband, listen, I'm going to work for the next hour. While you're cutting the grass, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just focus on real intentional follow-ups to get this done. All right. I want to stop talking and get to the action. So far, before I continue, because I'm just going to give you a last couple tips and then we're going to get to it. Do you have any questions so far that you want to ask? Are you struggling with anything that I can particularly like help you so that we can do like the last few minutes of real intentional follow-ups? Anything you want to share before I give you any tips? Everybody's feeling strong with their follow-ups? All right, awesome. So I'm going to give you 7 little tips that you could actually write down and then go into your follow-ups using these 7 tips. This is where I just say, okay, if I'm going to do an intentional follow-up power hour, this is the list that I pull out. So number 1, I start with my share cards. There's always people that you send a share card and they don't close it out. I'll go back there. I'll go and I could always send it again. And where it says customize your email, you can personalize that message. And you could just say, hey, I saw that you didn't close this out, so I'm resending it because, girlfriend, my next group is starting on Monday and I am closing it out. This is the last chance. Here's my promo code in case if you just, missed it and you didn't have it handy. I am so excited that the minute that you purchase, I'm going to add you to my group, and I cannot wait for you to just, start with me on Monday. Like, you can customize and make sure that you're letting them know, hey, this is it. Reserve your spot. Number 2, go to your hot list. Make sure that you have, like I talked about, that list. You should always have at least 10 names on that hot list. I am sure that you can come up with 10 names that have said, I'm interested. Or they made a comment that made you think like, this one's interested. Think about even family and friends that have written something like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were doing that. Go back. Hey, cousin, did you ever think about doing this with me? Like, there's nothing wrong with just saying, do this for fun. Let me use you as a guinea pig for the next 7 days. Give me 7 days of being a part of my free group and tell me what you think. I'd love to use your feedback as a testimony or as a success story, or tell me where I can maybe, really serve you better. All right. Number 3, go back to your notes. I'm sure somewhere in your notes, you've written down something that can help you really say, yes, I needed that to do a follow-up. Sometimes I look at my notes and that will get my wheels turning. And it's almost like if it helps me bridge the gap to that person that I know that I need to speak to today. Think of that mommy you once, you were when you reached out. What stage of parenting were you in? Or if you're not a mom, what stage in your life were you in where you were like, yes, I need this? Talk to that mom. Talk to that woman. Talk to the old Jessica, Donna, Samantha, Christy, Stacy, Dana. Talk to that person. Go back and say, I remember when I was there. And I know you reached out and you said you needed this. And I'm here to tell you that this is the opportunity that is going to absolutely help you make, become that better version. I'm ready. Are you ready? But sometimes I just go back through my notes and I'm like, oh, yes, I was talking to this girl and I just missed it. Whatever happened to her? All right. Number 4, think of all the people that have given you objections and go back and say, hey, what's holding you back? Throw out that question. You and I spoke 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard of you. What's holding you back? I understand. I was there. I was hesitant, but I'm ready to just make sure that you have no doubt in your mind right now to move forward. I just had this conversation with a girl last week that she's like, can you remind me again? Am I going to have to do this? Am I going to have to pay every month because I'm getting married? And I was very blunt about her. I said, I hope that you can invest in this monthly, because now that you're getting married, you want to absolutely be glowing from the inside out. That Shakeology should be a non-negotiable. Is $4 not worth what you're going to feel on your wedding day and thereafter? But at the end of the day, you could always say you're in full control. You have full control as to how much you're going to spend every month. But that should not be holding you back. Try it out for 30 days. Remember, we have a full money back guarantee. Just try it out for 30 days and see what you feel. All right. Number 5, go back to your old sneak peeks. When it comes to coaching, sneak peeks are great because you could always go back and be like, hey, did you ever watch that video that I posted? Did you ever watch the live? Were you on the sneak peek? What did you think about this? How did it make you feel when I said that you have 4 ways to make an income from this business? How did it make you feel that you get a referral, bonus just by sharing your link? Are you interested in becoming an affiliate? Think of words that is going to make people be like, yes, that's something that I need right now. Number 5, do a public post, a call to action, because people that are liking those posts, you could always go back and be like, hey, I saw that you liked it. I'm following up with you, girlfriend, because you know what? I have a free group coming up and I just want to see if you want to join me. That's a follow-up. And I mean, it's an invite, but you could always say, I've seen you, just like my stuff. I love it. Maybe you've reached out to them before. You could say, I reached out before to you and I'm just following up. This is another opportunity for you to hold on or join me. And then the last, number 7, is direct invites and indirect invites. A direct invite or a direct follow-up is sending them that message, and an indirect one could be like just on your stories and just go back. And again, saw you watching my stories, following up with you, girlfriend, because that's it. I'm getting my group ready and I want you to join me. I am so excited to link arms with you. So those are a few places where I just go back and say, all right, this is going to be my follow-up intentional power hour. This is how I'm going to do it. I start with the share cart, then go to the hot list, and so on and so on and so on. All right. So before we get into action, last minute, any questions before we go ahead and put the timer and actually do it? No, we're good? All right. If you run into an objection or if somebody says something, I'm going to challenge you to unmute and share it if you're stuck. Use us. Lean in. Because a lot of times for me, what used to like paralyze me was not knowing how it was that I was going to respond. And it wasn't until I started leaning into my wing girls that I was like, hey, how would you respond to this? There are days still to this day that I'm having like a brain fart and I'm like, I don't know how to respond. I will reach out to my girls and I'll be like, hey, how would you respond to this? Okay. So let's do a good, it's 12:30. So we have like another 30 minutes left, but let's do at least a good 20 minutes of following up. And I'll stop recording so that way we can just do like this short training of a focus hour that they'll have in the library. I'll stop recording and then we are going to stay on and actually do a good 20 minutes of nonstop following up. All right. So let me go ahead and stop recording.